We are recruiting for the Virginia militia. It's getting late in the war, and again, we desperately need help because those fellows wearing those red coats have invaded Virginia. One of them led by a gentleman formerly of the Continental Army named Benedict Arnold. When he switched over to the British, he led one of the invasions to Virginia. He did a lot of damage and destroyed a lot of military supplies while he was here. He pulled back, and then Cornwallis made his way into Virginia. And of course, that would lead to his downfall. He ends up getting himself trapped at Yorktown. But they relied on the militia, in addition to about 1,000 Continental regulars Lafayette had brought down from New Jersey to help keep the British contained, while Generals Lafayette and Rochambeau made plans to move the American and French armies south. And they would eventually culminate with the victory at Yorktown. But we need a few folks here in Virginia to help step up. So what that means is, all young men ages 16, 65, you sign up, you'll sign up for Captain Limerick's regiment or company right here. Tomorrow morning we're going to meet over in the town next to General Mercer's apothecary shop. And there we will get our assignment of where we're to go. General Washington has particularly asked us to take care of those troublesome loyalist people who live over here on the south bank of the Potomac River, because they've been causing us a great deal of trouble. Once we're done with that, then we will link up with General Lafayette and the other troops gathering in Virginia to keep the British at bay and hopefully move them down toward the general can fight them. So guys, that means you go home. You're going to grab your rifle or your musket, like mine right here, all of your supplies, which could be a cartridge box, or if you didn't have a cartridge box, you'll grab your powder horn, which you would use to keep your powder in. And if you're going to do that, you're going to need a bullet bag, which you carry your bullets in. You'll also need to make sure you carry equipment so you can keep your musket or rifle clean, because it doesn't take much to foul them up and cause a misfire. So you'll be doing that. I am also telling all of my recruits to pack at least 1 day's worth of food. That includes 1 pound of bread, 1 bottle or canteen of water, whatever you have, any other foodstuffs you might be able to take from home. And the only thing I can say is go home, you talk to your mom, see what she's got available. Because you know mom's not going to let you go off to fight a war unless you got something in your bag. And the main reason I'm encouraging my men to do that is because we are uncertain of supplies at this point. Colonel Lewis, Fielding Lewis, who married Miss Betty, George Washington's sister, he is in charge of supplying troops in their area. So we never know what he's going to have on hand, but he works very hard throughout the entire war to make sure, whether it's state troops, Continental regulars, or militia, that they will always have plenty of supplies on hand. So once we do that, we will link up with the other troops and move on to ridding our state of, again, those poor misguided individuals wearing those red coats, and see if we can restore our country and to go on and enjoy the independence and freedom we now enjoy. All right, who's my first recruit to sign up? Oh, by the way, normally it's just a short-term duration. I need to let you know you could expect to be on the road possibly about 3 months. Because normally in the past, the militia shows up kind of like our police do today. There's a problem, they take care of it, they go home. This one's a little bit bigger, so we're going to need you just a little bit longer. So when you go home and grab your gear, let your family know you might be gone for a while.
His father and his 2 older half-brothers went to school in England. When his father dies, George loses out on that opportunity. The family no longer has the money to send him abroad. So George's schooling isn't really recorded. He doesn't get any higher education, that is for certain, no formal college experience like a number of the other founding fathers. There's some debate on if he has some private tutors or if he's going across the river to some classes with the local reverend. But nothing's recorded, so we don't know for certain. He certainly does get some arithmetic. We have his workbooks, and his rules of civility is famously jotted down by him. And that's originally a French book that kind of lays out advice on how to be a decent person. And it ranges from very strange rules to don't pick your teeth in public. So, useful.
Still modern.
Yes. So we know he does have some kind of schooling, but where it takes place and how it's structured, we just don't know. But he does lament later in life his lack of that higher formal education that he missed out of, and his lack of knowledge of another language. During the Revolutionary War, when the French are our allies, he's very embarrassed by the fact that he can't talk with them directly, and he has to use translators, potentially Lafayette, as a go-between. He feels that's a real letdown that he, as the commander-in-chief and then even later president, can't speak with our country's allies directly.